So welcome all of you to today's session. It's about like, I think 10:06. So I'm so happy to see you guys joining so late and eager to learn a few things. But uh, from the topic, I think this topic is something that probably you will teach me back some things as well because you have been using AI and you guys are probably a little bit more smarter than I am. But anyways, whatever tools I have used so far and are important, we'll try and go over them and we'll try and understand what are the best ways to use AI, right? So let's start immediately. This is the mandatory slide where we need to pay our homage and stop and talk about different things that Pribby has. So if you're not already aware, we have EEYP, which is the MBA essentials. It talks about what you need to be doing, what you need to be aware of while you are anticipating that call or while that joining um, date is nearing. How can you be ready for the day one or the semester two or your summers, whatever that may be, right? That journey of yours. And then we have YLP, which is if you think that you might need some help in this journey of yours and you need help understanding which domain of MBA you would be interested in, or maybe if you want to build some profile alignment, right, through life projects. Probably YLP is something, but I think this is obviously this is an additional help, so it comes at some cost. And then you have case comms, definitely something to look forward to. If you need help, probably you can look at these programs. Otherwise, even if you don't enroll yourself in any program, but to give case forms a shot, they are a fun way to learn. You make new friends from different classes, sometimes even different campuses, and yeah, they break you, but they also make you. And then we have placement mastery, which is focus towards your placement prep. So if you think you need some extra mocks or some PIs, because the mocks and the PIs, mock PIs will be very different from what you have already experienced. They are slightly more focused towards a particular role, a particular company. Right? If you want to understand that, probably PM, or if you feel you need any help, additional help for that matter, then probably PM is something that you may look towards. All right, so quickly getting this slide out of the way, let's start. So here's the question. When the printing press was invented in 1450, who do you think benefited the most? I've given you guys four options. People who couldn't read, people who already had ideas worth sharing, monks who used to copy books by hand, or anyone who happened to live in Germany. So Marx says option C, monks. We're very happy. No more printing by hand. Any other answers? Come on, guys, quickly. Give me your answers in the chat box. B. People who already had ideas worth sharing. Why B? Can you please explain your reasoning? Why B? Why not C? Because I think Mark chose a decent answer. C's. Okay, finally I have somebody on the other side as well. Nobody is choosing A. Why not A? Since printing press was invented, I think the number of books would have increased, the quantity would have increased, so more people would have been able to get their hands on the books. So they would have also benefited, na? They would start reading. Are you assuming that people back then also didn't like to read? Just like us. If I have ideas worth sharing. Hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think the guys who have chosen B, you are right. The people who most benefited were the people who had ideas worth sharing, because they didn't have access to the team of monks or the resources that the church had, right? So they benefited because then their ideas can be multiplied and they can share their ideas with plenty. If they could only do it with 10 guys right now, because again they had to do everything by themselves. Now with the invention of printing press, they could spread their ideas to 10,000 people. So why this analogy? The analogy is because the advent of AI also has that kind of an impact and will continue to do so. And we'll see in the next slides. All right. So there are different types of AI users, right? And I'm sure you are aware, but just in case you're not, let's go through and see which one are you. So the consumer who does not think much, who will not apply his brain, he'll simply give things and let the GPT or the AI do the thinking and the generation. Right? He'll say, write me a CV for marketing roles. He's not thinking. He has delegated his task to the AI. On the other hand, you have guys who are a little smart, like you, who understand कि ChatGPT or for that matter any AI platform needs some guidance of what I want, right? Yes, Abhavi. That's something that is possible. So how would he give a prompt? He'll say, "Here is my CV draft." So he has used his brain, used his thought to put something together, some ideas together, which is relevant for him. And then he's asking the GPT or the AI to do a certain thing in a certain direction. He's asking to critique each bullet point on what parameters? Action, result, scale formula. So the operator is using the AI as a tool to refine, whereas the consumer has delegated everything. The second example would be solve this case for me. Right. You're delegating the AI to solve the case for you, to do the thinking. No, that is not the idea of how you should be using AI, at least up till now. If we are able to develop something that is capable and probably has general intelligence, then probably things will change. But up till now, no, right? So you apply your thinking, your thought, and then you ask GPT to work on it, to give you more ideas, to refine it, right? Anybody has, I'm not going to read through all of these because you are aware. Okay, I'm just highlighting. Don't be, again, there's a word of caution that needs to be given so that you guys don't fall into this trap. Right? Anybody has any questions? I'm not going to read the entire thing. You can probably take the slides and go through them. Just wanted to give you an idea. All right, there are different types of AI agents as well. For example, Claude, Gemini, or ChatGPT are sort of general AI. You can ask them for some refinement in CV. You can ask them to give you some Excel, uh, or probably ask them to code a little. Okay, so they are very broad. They can do different things, right? But then there are very specific tools as well, which will only work on a few things. For example, Nano Banana. Have you guys heard about Nano Banana? Has anybody used Nano Banana? Or any tool that you have seen except the general AI? Have you guys used anything? Hive AI, yes. So it's a very specific AI agent. Anybody has used any of the tools that I mentioned here except Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT? BAI. Yeah. Apart from that, Lovable. Okay. Notion, Perplexity. Okay. Perplexity. Tinder AI. Notebooks. Yeah. Canva. Perfect. So there are different AI tools. I'm just going to quickly go again. So AI productivity. So Grammarly helps you with grammars. Okay, they'll suggest you what sentence probably can be used. Something that is more appropriate. They'll also help you refine the tonality of the text that you are writing. Usually used and integrated in Google Docs and some other platforms as well. You can add it as a plugin in your browser and then use it. Similarly, for Notebook LM, uh, used to summarize notes, very, very handy tool. Then you have Canva. Again, most of you have used Canva. There are a lot of AI features where you can change the background, change the way the photo looks, right? Or create a new design. Gamma AI, yeah, Gamma AI is again a different tool wherein you can use it to generate presentations. You can ask a certain number of slides and what are the contents that you would want. Just give it a prompt and it will work and it will refine. Then you have AI app builders such as Bolt or Lovable, wherein you tell what kind of app you want to build, and then it will actually help you build that app. And then you have Claude Code. Anybody has used Claude Code? It actually helps you write code. You tell it what kind of code you want to build, and it'll actually help you build and write the entire code, and will also help you in debugging. Then you have AI video editing, Riverside. Anybody has used Riverside? Hmm. Yeah. So video generation and video editing are basically different, right? If you look at Nano Banana, you can actually tell what kind of a video you want, and it'll generate that video. You can actually try another app which is Flow AI for video generation. I think for now it's free because Nano Banana, from what I can recall, it was free till some time back. Now it's not free. Then you have agentic AI. So agentic AI necessarily do not specialize in one thing, but whatever task that you give to them, right? They understand and they use specific GPTs which are designed or AI agents that are designed for that. So they'll get your work done from a GPT that is specialized. Again, we'll also look at how to generate GPTs sometime later in the session, specific to your need and how you can create. So these are some of the. I think Fireflies is something that you might have seen. You may log into a meeting an interview and you suddenly see that Fireflies is taking notes for that meeting. And it's actually very powerful. Fireflies will give you the exact transcript of that meeting, the recording of that meeting, and also will tell you how the candidate was answering the questions. Was he confident? What was the score? Yes, yes. And even I have used it for some back in, I think, 2024 when I was doing recruitment for this tech firm. We did use Firefly, especially for employees that were a little senior. We used to look at these transcripts to try and see how was he answering the questions. When we asked him a technical question, how was he responding? When we asked him a tough questions, how did he respond? So it actually analyzes the way you are answering, talks about confidence, knowledge, and everything. It's a good tool, and that was back in 2024. So now it has evolved even further. Perfect. Anybody has any questions up till now? Because again, I'm going to move a little fast because I just want to start typing and show you guys around because again, yeah, no questions. Take care. Acha, how do you guys prompt? Let me ask you this before I tell you how I love to prompt. How do you guys like to prompt? What is your idea? How do you prompt? In chat box, please. Wherever you are, please write in the chat ki how do you like to prompt? What is the usual way that you ask Chat GPT to do a certain thing or Claude for that matter? Any AI. A very detailed prompt. Answer this idiot. Do this work. Make no mistakes. Oof. Like a master. Meta prompting using Chat GPT. Oof. Hers has, I think, been using AI for some time now. He understands how they work. Give a few steps initially and then make tweaks as per requirement. Acha. Avantika, So if you work in this manner, na, if you following these steps, then you'll run out of usage in Claude very, very, very quickly. Right. I'll be respectful so that if when AI takes over, they spare me. Come on, guys, tell me, how do you write prompts? Before I tell you how do I write prompts, okay, I want you to tell me. I'll explain everything first, then ask GPT for suggestions or explain my problem in detail, and I'll be particular about the way it shall answer. Okay. Ask for prompt from another AI and then paste that prompt to another AI. Rahul has figured out the glitch in the matrix. Ask for. All right. Okay, give them context, tell what kind of results we want, and send. All right, that's a good way to put it. Perfect. Okay, I'll tell you. So these are some of the things that you should consider. You may not need to use all of it, but at least try and use as many while you're prompting. And trust me, writing a detailed prompt is important. Okay, because again, if you write or require multiple inputs, na, then the GPT may get confused. Okay, and the longer the chat becomes, it does affect memory. It does affect because they have limited number of tokens, right? So writing the first prompt in detail and following a certain process will actually give you a much better result. So usually you should start with the purpose. You should explain what you're trying to do or what you are trying to achieve. For example, help me with my CV. Right? Is it's a little broad. How should the AI understand what do you help do? Do you need help with alignment, colors, what? So you should give it a specific purpose. You critique this CV points so that it is aligned for a XYZ role. So now you have clearly given a purpose. Ki I am trying to change these points and make it aligned to that specific role. So he understands your purpose, what you are trying to achieve. Then he'll be able to think from your shoes and then uh, work in that direction. Example, help me prepare for my interview. This is a very generic purpose that you are writing. You should be a little detailed, a little specific. Say ki I have XYZ interview in some days. Now, when you give the day, na, it can help you plan the calendar. Ki, acha, how should you approach these 5 days? When you mention the specific company, na, it'll understand actually which sector is it from. It may even refer to some of the websites that the company has. Okay, what does it want in the incoming candidate, right? And then the next part of the prompt here we have written, my weakest area is market sizing. Help me identify the top three mental traps I should avoid in market sizing cases. So in this prompt, he's trying to specifically avoid things that he may fall into. So you understand, right? Purpose is very clear. He wants to avoid falling or going into his weaknesses and trying to avoid making mistakes that will cost him this interview. The next is role. It's also sometimes very important for you to tell AI ki how what should be the frame of mind when he's giving you an answer. If you are presenting a case and asking some advice, you should tell it ki how should he think. Should he think more from a psychologist perspective? Should he think more like a proper consultant? What kind of consultant, right? If you are asking a finance question, you should tell it, think like you are a CA or a CFA. If you are asking certain valuation questions, you may ask it to think like an actuary, right? So, and tell it that This is the role that you are supposed to play. And it is also sometimes beneficial to tell ki who you are. And you can have a conversation with AI. Then, for certain cases, now take an example. Tell me about marketing strategies. This is a little vague. Actually, not little, but this is very vague. Instead, if you are telling the AI a certain role, for example, you are a CMO at a D2C beauty brand, and I am a fresh MBA admit researching the industry. Walk me through the top three marketing strategies. So now he understands, yeah, he has to think like a CMO who would probably bringing in a broader perspective, some executive level insights, and explain it to an MBA student who is probably fairly new to this industry. So simple analogies to explain. So it the quality of your prompt will affect the quality of the output. The next one is examples. If you can, please give the background, the situation, or some context, right? Again, to take an example, simply saying ki write me a LinkedIn post, it's a vague, right? You may say ki you may give him an example ki here I am giving you two samples, two sample LinkedIn posts. This is the way I want. Please structure it this way. This is the number of words that I want. And you don't need to provide a link. You can simply copy and take a screenshot and paste it. It'll understand. It is so powerful. And again, detailed prompts are necessary because it gives AI the direction. Otherwise, see, it will never be able to understand your context. And remember, it has been trained on such a large data set that if you keep something open-ended, now it will be open-ended, very open-ended. The last one, precision. So you need to tell it ki what exactly you want. You know jargons, ठीक है? Each sentence under 20 words, how many bullet points you want. You should clearly explain. For example, summarize this report. It's not clearly saying how long the summary should be, what point should it cover, right? The original text may have some jargons, so it may bring those jargons into the summary. Do you want it? It's a summary, right? Somebody to quickly read through and understand. A better prompt would be to summarize this report in exactly 5 bullet points. Each bullet point, and there are so words, and I'm asking you to focus on certain things. Talk about strategic implications, and don't focus on numbers. And again, no jargon. So I have given you some examples. Now you may pick two and then write a prompt. You may use one and then write a prompt. Ideally, the way that I have explained it to you, that is the way you should write your prompts. And again, prompt is very important. It's like giving a direction. If you send the AI in the wrong direction, you will not get the right answers, or at least the answer that you would want. Any questions? I know it's a little bit theoretical, but some of you may already know this. If you know it, well and good. If you don't, it's my, I think, responsibility to take you through it. So I use AIM framework. Act as a prompt engineer or expert in something. Input everything I need AI to know. Okay, M is mission. What I want AI. ठीक है. This also works. You tell the input. You say ki what role you are playing, and then the mission. What is the purpose? Perfect. Any other questions? Any questions, guys? Any questions? And with practice, you'll improve. So you just have to keep this in mind next time. And a detailed prompt, let's say a 200 word, a 300 word prompt, is important. Because if you're working on something that is complex, it does require effort, right? Perfect. So some pitfalls, guys. First is whenever you're writing any content or creating anything, specific numbers and statistics should always be verified, because AI can cook some numbers because it's very creative, right? So any number that you are getting, you need to ensure that you have the links or the references that you can go back to and confirm. Because again, I'm not sure if you have heard that news that there was a case in US when a lawyer created a case, prepared for a hearing, a Supreme Court hearing in US, right? And he used AI to build that case deck. And in that, what AI did is it manufactured false cases. There were no such references available in reality, but it manufactured. And the lawyer, I don't know what he thought, but he presented it as is. So they are prone to being very creative. And they are very creative, right? You should check the citations and references. Ask for them to give you citations and references. I'm sure you would have heard the Deloitte news that in Australia, Deloitte was asked by the government or employed by the government to prepare some report, right? And what happened? Some intern or somebody in the organization prepared a report using AI, and it had references to certain things which were non-existent. They did not exist. So it manufactured, and it had hallucinations. The other pitfall is recent events. So some of you, if you have been using AI for a long time, previously now, though I think they update it very frequently, but back then it used to had a cutoff date, which was like several months. Uh, so if let's say you are trying to use the AI in December, it will say ki the last latest information available in the system is till September. So almost 3 months of gap, right? Now, though I think they have changed, but again, it does not cover all the recent news. The fourth one is niche or technical claims. So sometimes AI, when you are giving a prompt and the answer comes, it will say this is the perspective that you should hold. And if it's very, very particular, very focused, then you should verify, always verify. Because again, AI is known to make such mistakes, right? Fifth is with names of people. So it has difficulty in identifying individuals, especially if they are a little less famous. It is prone to making mistakes. So if you are working on certain type of content, then you should be a little careful. All right, perfect. हो गया. Now I should stop my presentation, but before that, anybody has any questions? Then I'll go to Chat GPT, or should I? Or should I skip that part? Would you want me to go and show you a few things? Quickly tell me in the chat box. Would you want या फिर हो गया 30 minutes? I have had my 30 minutes. Sure, sure. All right. Anybody has any questions up till now? Any questions? Any questions? No questions? क्या बात है? No questions. Attendance. It's not the end of the session, Tanvi. I'm just joking. तो ChatGPT Pro है आपके पास. शायद yes, Prabhi, maybe I have. ठीक है, I'll show you. एक second, guys. Just give me a moment. Now I'm gonna share my screen. All right, perfect. You guys can see my screen. Perfect. So first, let me show you how. I'm sure you know how to change models and agents, right? You can upload files. While writing a detailed prompt, let me try and take some inspirations from the slide that I had shown you. Let me see if I can take a prompt. What prompt I had? Yeah. Okay. I have a Bain Consulting interviews. नहीं, let me take this one, CMO वाला. ठीक है. Yes. I'll take this, Control A, Control C. Let's try this prompt. Let's try having an interaction with the GPT, right? And see if it, and we'll also see which GPT is actually better for this kind of a research. I'm just going to put the same prompt in a Claude as well, and let's see. hmm So it has taken up a role. Just going to put it on full screen. Yeah. Create a trust engine. Okay. So it's giving a differentiation between old influencer and new creator. Perfect. Content, commerce. Explaining me how to create content. Get ready with me. Routine videos. Okay. Okay. Omni channel plus data. So it has created some strategy. I had asked it for three. It has given me three. Created trust, content commerce, omnichannel retention. Now again, I'm going to copy the same prompt. Let's see if Claude does a better job at this. Perfect. I'm going to use Opus possibly. Let's see. So you see, the way they have generated content is a little different. The way ChatGPT was trying to structure it, it was a little different. Wherein this has Claude has gone a little simple, I think, too simple. Wherein this ChatGPT was explaining and walking me through what it is thinking, okay, and actually helped me understand as a fresh MBA student the distinction. Wherein this has simply put it out there. So, can I change this with a prompt? Let's try and see. I'm just gonna write quickly this. Let's see if it is gonna make any change. Hmm. Okay, so now this has given examples. I have not asked it for examples, but it is giving me some examples. A little longer. Hmm. All right, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna stop and stop using my bandwidth. Okay. So this is about prompting. Now let me create a GPT. So if you can see, guys, now I have created a my own GPT wherein if I ask something related to labor codes, it will tell me. Okay, and how do I do that? I'll quickly tell you. You guys can see my screen, right? So if you have a subscription to ChatGPT, this is when you log in through your browser. This is the landing page that you land onto. Okay. Now you have to go to Explore GPT, and now you have to create on create, and this is how you create your own GPT. Now, what will this do? Before I tell you how to create, you can customize it for a certain tasks. For example, I can customize it to help me create CV pointers. I can help it and I can customize it to present me understanding of case analysis, right? I can do all those things. Any questions? Perfect. So I'll create a GPT for CV pointers, CV Pro. All right. You will help me. ठीक है, I'm just quickly giving it instructions. Again, यहाँ पे I'll tell it कि make powerful catering to specific specializations having quantifiers. I'm just quickly giving it a prompt. Having quantifiers, action slash outcome oriented, starting with powerful action verbs, ORIE, with power verbs. Perfect. Right. You can upload your files as well. I don't have a file, but you can upload your CV resume if you feel ki you have some senior ka CV which is very good. You can upload some documents which has those Howard HBR power verbs. You can upload. ठीक है? No, I'll just create new action. Let me ask. Can you? Anybody wants to give his or her pointers? Anybody would like to give his or her pointers? Well, let's try this. A very generic pointer. If yes, please provide in the chat box. Write any pointer. Anything about your experience. Do I have any? वो भी ए से पूछ लूँ. ठीक है. चलो. That is something that I'll ask AI. Okay. Give me a generic pointer for experience in ठीक है. उफ, इतना खराब. चलो ठीक है. ये एक्चुअली में उतना खराब पॉइंटर्स भी नहीं है, बट ठीक है. लेट मी जस्ट गिव. अच्छा, मैंने मार्केटिंग लिखा है, इसका ऐसा कर. लेट्स सी. No, I'll now ask it to add quantifiers. Add numbers. Now again, अभी यहाँ पे I'll ask it to be creative. Add numbers, be creative, because again, this will give you ideas. See, now I'm gonna create only me, obviously. Save. It's gonna show up in my dashboard. Perfect. Oops. हाँ, ठीक है, आ गया. Now I'm gonna give it more pointers. Let's try this. We need to feed it the rules. I think थोड़ा सा इसको हाँ अभी हमें बोलना पड़ रहा है, but we can also by default customize it so that every time we try and use it, it'll automatically add quantifiers. Even in the first, as soon as I give it this prompt, now it'll add the quantifiers, and simply I can customize it. So this is something that you can specialize only for a certain task, for reading case, or for a particular subject. If you want help for statistics, it'll have a lot of background and context. So this is creating your own GPT. Next is you can use projects as well. For example, if you see, I have this project wherein I ask a certain set of questions which are related to a, let's say, labor code. And now when I ask any other new information, it actually refers back to the entire history and then gives me a very detailed prompt. And I don't need to feed it every time the kind of response I want. And an example is this. For example, because of the history, I only had to give this very small input because I've already told GPT to in this project what kind of answers I want, how should it structure everything. And if you see, it gives a very detailed report. The executive summary comes first because again, in this project, I have given it specific information. Okay, this is how I want. Executive summary, a table comparing and giving me specific provisions from where it is actually answering questions. Because again, I said it may give you false references. So I want these references so that I can go back and confirm. I can even ask for links towards the end. And then it gives its commentary on its take on what it thinks. Again, remember, I have this table, so I can always go back here and refer to why is it implying something. Again, a very detailed prompt. Towards the end, it gives me references as well. So this is the prompt that I have set for this project. And you can create multiple projects using it, using this framework. So this is some things that you can do in AI. Again, you can generate Excel, you can ask it to create code for you if you are using R language for that matter. Okay, you can use ChatGPT to write R language ka code. Now I'm gonna move on to Claude. Yes, perfect. Okay. Again, Claude also has the projects wala feature wherein you can create a project. So you don't have to always tell ki what it needs. I mean, the detailed prompt every time. You just feed the kind of information you would want, how you would want it to structure. And then it will automatically always use that information and always reference, have a reference with all the other chats that you've already had in that project. So that makes your life a little easy. In customize, you can also use customize skills to add any new skills or create new skills. There are various skills that are available on the internet. If you simply do a Google search, you can find different skills. You can upload your own skill, by the way. Create skill, you can upload a skill. If you want to yourself create a skill, you can also give a certain set of instructions wherein it will work. Now I'm going to use some connectors. Perfect. Let me see. This after skills, there are certain other feature called connectors. What it'll do is you can connect it to different apps in the ecosystem. For example, right now I have connected it to Gmail. Okay, I'll show you how you can use it. You can also connect it to your G Drive or your Canva, okay, calendar, Microsoft. And what happens if you, let's say, add it to your calendar, it can use your calendar like assistant, like a PA. You can simply ask Claude to do something, set a new calendar or respond to a calendar, cancel a calendar, ask it when can you schedule a 1 hour meeting. In Claude, you don't need to open your calendar. So for all these apps, once you integrate it into your Claude, you can use it. I'm just going to use Gmail for now because I have already set it up. And it's very simple. Setting it up is very simple. You simply go, click here. Okay, it will take you to connect page and then you'll land up in a browser when it'll ask you for your Gmail login detail. That's it. Now, what this will do is, let me just quickly go back to my chat. Yeah, I need to go back. Now, since it's connected to my Gmail for now, I can directly ask Claude to give me certain information from my Gmail. For example, let me ask you, can you get me my Claude subscription date? Let's see if it can actually go through my Gmails and tell me. Acha, no. use my Gmail. Use my Gmail. I forgot to tell it to use my Gmail. Mhm. All right. So it tells me I should not disclose my receipt number, but yeah. So it can actually read the history, and it can use different apps like an assistant. I'm just showing a very, very simple basic example because again, given the lack of time, I have to keep things simple, but it's for you to try. I've just shown you that you can upload skills for generating a certain type of content. ठीक है. Humanize. You can actually upload a skill that humanizes content. For example, in your B school, now you'll have something called as turn 10. Just quickly go. Turn 10. Yeah. So your teacher will be are going to be using this. Okay. It figures out if you have done plagiarism, copy pasted stuff that was already published. It can also detect if you're using any AI for that matter. So how do you get around it? Because everybody is using AI. It's not a crime to use AI, at least when you're trying to uh, put your original content into a certain order, a certain tone. You're free to use AI. But then some B schools may not be so fond of you using AI. So you can actually use Claude, upload a humanize ka skill, and then use it to make your AI content less AIs, which will actually pass the test of turn 10. The last AI tool that I'd want to show is an integration. So what I have done is I have integrated a AI into my extension, right? Crystal. Okay, there are different hosts. What it can do is when you open a certain LinkedIn page now, if I click on this, okay, it's asking to sign in. Okay, ठीक है. हाँ. So it will tell me about this profile. So when you are evaluating, let's say you're trying to reach out to an HR to try and understand ki how should I communicate to this guy. So it will tell you ki how you should, what kind of person he is, how does he write, what is the tone that you should write your message in. ठीक है. It like basically goes through all the interactions that this person has had and skims through it to generate this kind of an information. Again, this is a trial version. I'm using a certain extension. There are multiple such extensions which are free for you to try. I just give you an example, and then you can also use it to uh, write your response. There are different tools which you can use, which will feed from this information that you have discovered, right, and help you write that information. Again, just one example. All right, I think I'll stop sharing my screen. Given you some examples. See, I have given you very bare minimum. Okay. It's for you to explore. There are certain resources that obviously I can refer you to because again I have also learned uh, using these videos only. So I'll put them in the link or I'll share it with the admin. How did you connect LinkedIn with AI? So it's an extension, Amisha. There are many extensions. I am just showing you one which goes through the profile. There are others which work very differently. If you are a sales professional, it will work differently. If you are in HR, you have AI that will look at that LinkedIn profile from an HR perspective. So you can tell it ki the kind of role that you're looking for. And once you click on that profile, instead you examining the entire profile, the AI will do it for you and tell you ki boss this profile, nah. You can move on to the next one. It's an extension. There are many extensions. You simply need to find the right one basis your requirement. And I'll share some videos with you guys, ठीक है, which are a good starting point if you want to understand how to use AI. ठीक है, because They are absolutely phenomenal. I have not even touched the very basics. Matlab, I'm just hovering around the basics only. Not even gone into the details of the basics. ChatGPT is good for voice in quiz rounds for case comps and generic lookup of it. Mm-hmm. ठीक है. And you can also create websites. So ठीक है. Somebody said na website. Let me try and do that. Why not? Prepbi का एक copy तो बना ही सकते हैं क्या? Let's try that. I hope the admin is not present right now in the chat. So help me create a website like I'm just gonna ignore कि अगर admin होंगे भी chat में तो just ignore कर देते हैं guys थोड़ा देर के लिए. Let's see if we are able to create a copy of this website. Rename it student B. Command A, Command C. I'm just gonna give it to this also, and I'm gonna give it to Claude also. Let's see which one is gonna give me a better result. Okay, chat. Let's see. Opus versus GPT. So meanwhile, they are working in the background. Any questions? Sir, AI can't see the website through your screenshot. Sir, AI can't see the websites. Are you sure? It can't. New startup student will launching tomorrow. I wish it was that easy, Vedant. I can see for sure can. It can see. Claude for sure can. Yeah. Who says it can't? Right. It may take us some time. ठीक है. Meanwhile, do you guys have any questions? ठीक है. Let it work in its magic in the background. The things that AI can do, it's absolutely phenomenal. You can create games now, provided you have enough tokens. Anybody has any questions? Or do you have any other use case in your mind right now that you can think of? We may try and do that as well. Any other use case? No? You guys are tired to think? खाना नहीं खाया है, भूख लग गई है. Do you recommend getting both Claude and ChatGPT subscriptions then? No, Vedant. I wouldn't recommend you to get both. Okay, because then somebody else might come and say, "Oh, Gemini has this feature," and then you'll say, "Should I get all these three?" So, basis your requirement, I think it's up to, for you to choose. From my usage, I have been using ChatGPT for more than 2 years now, and Claude for some 1 year or so. Student IDC can मिल जाएगा. I think Gemini you might be able to for a little less discount or some free version for students, okay, which is slightly better than the free version for everyone. All right. Yeah. So from my experience, ChatGPT has a way larger limit as compared to Claude. Claude tends to use it all its limit very quickly, whereas um, ChatGPT actually takes quite a while before it exhausts its limit. Matlab, I have had not exhausted my limit very recently. Initially, when the limit was very low, I did, but not now. Let me try text editor. Uh-huh. Let me see if I can paste this code here. अच्छा ये तो मेरे को change करना पड़ेगा into file save as. ठीक है. Let's see. Close. Hopefully this works. Maybe work किया तो guys, I'll give you the code. You can exam. Is it generated? ठीक है. There we go. यही है ना? कहाँ गया? अच्छा नहीं ये रहा. हम्म। क्या हुआ जनरेट? क्या लगता है गाइस, नहीं हुआ ठीक से? थोड़ा सा इसको वापस देना पड़ेगा। लगता है प्रभु ने काफी मेहनत की, इतनी आसानी से कॉपी नहीं होगा। मे बी चैट जीपीटी हैज फेल्ड। लेट्स सी। अच्छा, सो क्लॉड इज स्टिल वर्किंग। थोड़ा सा नहीं हुआ, आई थिंक फॉर सम रीजन उसने कुछ तो यहाँ पे किया है जो उसने सही से इसमें नहीं डाल पाया। टैब्स काम नहीं कर रहे हैं। सो मतलब क्लॉड आई थिंक बेटर करेगा इससे, बट चैट जीपीटी तो एक बार में नहीं कर पाया। हाँ, रिफाइन करना पड़ेगा, बट इतना मेहनत कौन ही करेगा मतलब। अच्छा, एआई अरीना ट्राई करो। सो मॉड इज सेइंग एआई अरीना ट्राई करो। बोलो फिक्स यूआई। अरे बहुत तेज काम किया ना, मतलब फास्टेस्ट फिंगर फर्स्ट। मैं इसको बोलता हूँ दिस इज नॉट वर्किंग, दिस इज नॉट वर्किंग, यूआई इज ट्रैश। ठीक है। अच्छा हाँ गाइस, सो व्हाइल यू आर प्रॉम्प्टिंग ना, again I forgot to mention this, you can actually improve the quality of your output by asking Claude to ask you questions. For example, if I'm saying ki help me write help me solve this case, ठीक है, and then I upload my case, and then I'll also write in that prompt ki ask me questions for crucial information, and then it will ask you 7 8 questions, which when you answer, the quality of your the quality of the output will significantly improve. चलो, क्लॉड ने कुछ तो बना दिया है। ओह, एक सेकेंड, इसको तो वैसे फुल स्क्रीन में देखना पड़ेगा। लेट मी जस्ट पब्लिश, नहीं पब्लिश कर देता हूँ आर्टिफैक्ट को। एडमिन आप नहीं देख रहे हो होपफुली, ठीक है, मेरे ऊपर कुछ होना नहीं चाहिए। मैं तो बस एजुकेशन के पर्पसेस से कर रहा हूँ। Those of you are taking marketing या digital marketing, AI is probably going to be so helpful. Start getting used to it. ठीक है, how you give it the right prompt. Let's see अगर डाउनलोड से आया क्या। ओह यस, ये आ गया। परफेक्ट। लेट मी सी कि क्या इसने टैब्स भी कॉपी कर लिए हैं। ओह, टैब्स भी कॉपी कर लिए हैं। क्या बात कर रहे हो? सब कुछ काम नहीं कर रहा है, बट इसने ट्राई किया है, मतलब ठीक है। आई गिव इट लुक एंड फील। तो आई थिंक द एडमिन कैन प्रॉब्ली टेक अ फ्यू लेसन्स फ्रॉम दिस। कि आई लाइक द यूआई, द नेविगेशन। व्हाट डू यू थिंक गाइस? चैट बॉक्स में बताना अभी करंट वर्सेस दिस, व्हिच वन डू यू थिंक looks cleaner and the animation is smoother? Book live. Did I see my name somewhere? Oh, ah, I like this one, to be really honest. For some reason, I think the navigation looks very simple. Is the UI is very easy on the eye. Obviously, these placeholders need to be reworked at. But the navigation for me, from what I understand, is very simple and very easy. I like this one. Again, you can ask it to refine and do all those stuff. इसकी तारीफ कर दी। नहीं देंगे। लेट मी सी कि अभी इसने फिक्स किया कि नहीं। आई डिड द यूआई फ्रॉम स्क्रैच। ओके ठीक है, देखते हैं आपने कितना किया स्क्रैच से। अच्छा, ये तो वही है, एरर था, हाँ इसलिए ठीक है। लेट मी सी, ये है ना। लेट मी प्रीव्यू कंसोल एज एरर्स। तो ये तो जीपीटी तो भाई फेल है फिर, ठीक से नहीं कर पा रहा है। text editor. Let me. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna see if HTML में काम करेगा कि नहीं. Uh-huh. Format. Make plain text. Control V. Fine. Control save. Test 2. ठीक है. इसका close. Go to info. Change it to HTML. I mean, हो सकता है guys. I'm doing a little old school method. ठीक है, but yeah, I'm not a tech guy. Yeah, trash. ठीक है. So, okay, the admin is saying try Gemini. Okay, let's try Gemini. We shall try Gemini as well. Let's try Gemini. I don't have Gemini Pro version by the way, guys. So अगर वो ठीक से आंसर नहीं किया तो एडमिन की गलती है, मेरी नहीं. एक सेकेंड. हाँ, इसका नाम ठीक है. I'm just gonna go. Let's see. हाँ, I know it's React. So I gave it a HTML tag ना. It's not working still. Let's see. अच्छा, you asking me to give a prompt. अच्छा, ठीक है. We'll try that as well. Let's see. Admin is also now in a fun mood. ठीक है, give me a detailed prompt. Oh, I think it has already generated. Detailed prompt की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी. Let's see. Is it clickable? Uh, this is also a little cleaner. IIT JEE, but we don't do IIT JEE. NEET. We don't do NEET. This is also a little cleaner. But I still like the cloud one. A little smaller, crisp. ठीक है. Again, given that it's a free version. Leak new article. Yeah, maybe, guys, maybe. Link copied. Let me see it in a browser. So this is the user interface. Again, ये तो काम नहीं करेगा. It has to be customized. But yeah. Again, I think a decent try. ठीक है. Although I feel कि that was better. ये तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि AI ने generate किया है. But Claude was, I think, a little more, how do you say, well optimized. ठीक है. तो I think बहुत खेल लिया आज हमने. I had fun. ठीक है. All right, guys. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who has joined and has been with us for 1 hour. Thank you so much. So late at night. And happy learning. See you tomorrow. We have another session tomorrow. Please check the schedule somewhere in the comment box or the description. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.